And then fast forward to now, and I'm doing the pop-up t-shirt bars, and I have over probably close to 250 different designs that I bring with for people to choose from. And then
Welcome to the Ill Noise Business Playbook. We sit down with people building real impact in their communities and unpack the vision behind their work. If you care about real stories and real connection, you're in the right place. Let's make some noise. All right, welcome to the Ill Noise Business Playbook. We are here today with Ashley from Hey Turbo Collective. Ashley, how are you doing today, young lady?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. You know, we are doing this on a Friday, so who doesn't like Fridays, especially with the weekends coming up, especially with the holiday coming up here. So it's going to be a good thing all around. Definitely want to kind of talk about your business. But before we talk about your business, I always like to kind of get to know who you are as a person. So before I ask you this specific question, 1987, I remember exactly where I was. In 1987, I was in junior high, and there was a lot of hair bands, shall we say, that were became pretty popular. And I went right along with it. I can think of the Poisons, and I can think of some other bands. I don't need to go through all those things. But you seem to be a fan of a band that came out with the song that was rather popular, along with some other songs around that time. But I know in '87, the song came out. Who's the musical band that you seem to have to be a fan of?
Oh, that would be Whitesnake.
Okay, and why is that, Ashley? What about Whitesnake makes you still say to yourself, "Oh, here we go again. I'm still digging this." Yeah.
It's just fun. It's just fun. It used to be my song that I would put on whenever I see a jukebox or touch tunes. So that was kind of
Nice. Have you seen Whitesnake?
I have not
You
yet.
have not?
We'll see.
Oh my God! All right. Well, I haven't either, but I assume they. I can still picture the video with "Here I Go Again" with the young lady dancing on the car and all that fun
Yeah.
stuff. Sort of a big thing at the time, but all that kind of music, all that '80s music, because it's from my childhood, it just always puts me in a good mood. It just makes me feel good. I think at times, my brother is a big fan of music. He plays multiple instruments, and he's always sort of looking for like the highest quality of music. And I think music is actually there just to make us feel good.
I agree with you. I agree.
You know, that band that you suggest certainly kind of, I think, puts us all in the good feels if you listen to some of those tunes. So I think that's cool. Neha and myself, my wife, the producer, the heart behind this whole movement that we're doing here. When the season started this year, the first person that we interviewed was a young lady that's a dog trainer, and we had been talking about getting a dog for a while, and she's hypoallergenic, so we needed to get a dog that doesn't shed and stuff like that. And I've had a couple dogs, but they've been big dogs before. I've had a golden retriever, I've had a Labrador, a black lab, and so I always told myself, well, I'm not going to get a small dog. And anyways. Long story short, we've got this little schnoodle named, he's a Schnauzer poodle, and his name is Shaggy. And to say that I'm a fan of his would be an understatement. But looking at your page, you seem to like your little furry little friend as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I have she's a little mutt. She's a dachshund lab mix. Her name's Sugar.
Her name's Sugar? Okay.
Her name's Sugar. And she just turned 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of dog is Sugar again?
She's a dachshund lab mix.
Okay.
A wiener dog and a lab.
A wiener dog and a lab. Awesome. Well, I just think, what's really amazing about dogs, when I was growing up, I had cats because my mother is anti-dog. She got attacked by a dog as a kid, so she wouldn't let my brother and I have dogs. And, I often think with cats, it's like they're happy you're taking care of them. Mm-hmm. Where with dogs is they're happy that you exist in general. Yeah. We own dogs, cats kind of own us, right? So I think it's really amazing when you're having maybe a day that doesn't feel all warm and fuzzy. The dog doesn't care. He's still going to smile, lick you, and want you to be around. And he's just, you're his whole world. You're the head of the pack. And I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
We are here to talk about Hey Turbo Collective, and very interesting. I had an opportunity to kind of take a look at your, I know you're following us, we're following you too. So I'm kind of taking a look at all these wonderful work that you're doing. I love the fact you're setting up some pop-up shops and stuff, and you're going to different events and running these sort of things. Talk to us if you can, like what inspired you? Like what made you say to yourself, you know what? This is what I want to do, and talk about what it is that you are doing.
So I started making t-shirts in 2018, just I had a 1-bedroom apartment and I was making them out of there.
Okay.
And it was just kind of something to do on the weekend. It was my creative outlet and kind of just something to do that I liked.
Okay.
And then fast forward to now, and I'm doing the pop-up t-shirt bars, and I have over probably close to 250 different designs that I bring with for people to choose from. And then I just launched for baby showers. I just launched where I can bring onesies and a heat press, and you can customize a onesie at the baby shower that you're at as kind of like just like a little pop up gift.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah, so I just started that last week, actually. So it's pretty new.
Pretty darn new.
Yeah.
What do you think got you just to do t-shirts in general? I mean, we've talked to a lot of folks that have done different things, but what was it about shirts that you decided, hey, I don't want to just buy shirts. I want to make my own.
I have just always been a t-shirt person. I love t-shirts. Go on vacation. That would be the souvenir that I would bring home would be a t-shirt or five.
Okay.
It's just what I'm comfortable in. I like them. I want to share that with everybody.
That's so cool. I can, you probably did as well, but I remember when my grandparents would go away, they would give me a t-shirt and say something like, my grandparents went to Miami and all I got
Yeah.
is this t-shirt, but it certainly makes me, I enjoy, I don't typically wear polos and stuff like that. I also wear t-shirts all the time as well, but
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. How long have you been doing this now for? How long has this been an official business?
Hey Turbo Collective has been since the beginning of this year.
Okay.
And then previous to this was Turbo Awesome Finds, which that was
Okay.
from 2018 to 2025. Or
Okay.
2024. No, 2025. We're in 2026. Holy cow.
Yeah. I know. It goes by quick.
So,
Well, okay. So first and foremost, why did you change the name of the organization?
because when I started doing this in 2018, I didn't think it was going to turn into what it is.
Okay.
So I had just kind of thrown that name together, and then I wanted something that just kind of reflected more of what it's become and more a little easier to roll off the tongue.
Okay. And what exactly does it mean? What is I'm not getting the references myself here, but what is the Hey Turbo Collective? Where's that come about from?
Turbo kind of turned into my nickname. So I made an email address when I was 16 years old, and it kind of just developed into this. So
Okay.
yeah, I made like a joke email address, and then it just turned into that was my nickname, and now people call me Turbo. So
And okay, well let's dive into that for a second. Then I've heard a lot of nicknames. I've had a lot of nicknames. Some good, some I'd rather not repeat on the air here. But why do you think people started calling you Turbo? I love it.
no, I think it was just kind of easy. It was something different. It was I don't know. Started as just kind of a fun thing, and then turned into that.
Okay, and then so people just literally call you Turbo.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay,
And if
well
my neighbor across the street will see me and he'll wave and goes, "Hey, Turbo."
oh, that's so cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so you've embraced it to say the least.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've been doing this for a while, and it's not always so easy to say, "Hey, I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna take a chance here. I'm gonna do something I'm really passionate about." Right? And when we match our passion with our practice, we're actually doing something right in this world. But how have you been able to overcome the different things that have happened here in this industry for the last 10 years or so? Like, how have you been able to kind of deal with any sort of issues coming your way?
I think mostly just adapting and overcoming. If something doesn't work, you just gotta brush it off and try something new. Um, and it's just kind of that's my biggest thing. And then I have a great support group around me who, if I'm having a bad day, they remind me of everything that's going right.
That's beautiful.
So I think both of those things kind of keep me going.
Is there something you can think of that you have, like, that has been a pretty drastic situation or something you've had to deal with that you've been able to, like, a specific example of something that maybe didn't go as right as you'd like, but you learned from it, you were able to adjust and adapt appropriately?
My first website. My first
Okay.
website was not it was not great. I maybe got one order on it, and
Hmm.
then the next one I made, I took the time to learn how to do it, and that was a big learning thing for me was the online stuff. So,
Well, you adapt and you survive, and if you don't, you fail, right? So
yep.
I think that's actually a really cool just takeaway for most people. They're trying to get something done. If you don't succeed the first time, don't give up. Just
No.
pivot and try something different, right?
Yeah, it's a game changer, honestly.
Now you're doing some of these specialized events and stuff like that, which I think is great. But that's already sort of taking advantage of an audience or customer base that's already been secured. What other ways are you using to kind of get the word out as far as what your business is all about?
I'm in a retail store in Batavia.
Okay.
and I do my pop-ups there. So it's called Red Hive Market, and I'm
Oh,
there, and I try to do a pop-up there every couple months. And then I do once a month in Warrenville, which I'm from Warrenville.
okay,
I do a pop-up at one of our local bars and restaurants here. It's called Marquito's Bar and Grill,
okay,
and we call those third Thursday events because we do them on the third Thursday of every month. So it's me and my friend Rose, and I do a t-shirt bar, but then sometimes I kind of change it up. Like this for our April event, I'm doing like a make your own cup kind of thing.
okay.
So that'll be a little different, just kind of change it up a little. But yeah, I try to do. I like staying in my Warrenville area and kind of like supporting there.
I love it. So many things you've said. So you said you've got something in Batavia. I once lived in Batavia for a while. I actually loved before I was married, by the way, but I loved my little apartment that I had in Batavia. And I grew up in Woodridge. I actually went to college at College DuPage for a year before I
Okay.
transferred to a 4-year university. So I'm very familiar with the Warrenville, Wheaton area and stuff like that, which I think is great. Really, really good memories of those things. Have you? Are you attached to any chambers? Are there any networking groups that you're affiliated with? Or what other ways are you trying to use to, other than these pop up things, being in the stores, and then obviously using social media, which you're doing a great job on social media as I'm following you along. But what other ways are you doing to make sure that you're kind of getting the word out as far as Hey Turbo Collective?
I'm not really in any networking groups for this. I think my biggest thing is social media, and then word of mouth. Honestly, is I have a good following, and
Okay.
like my Warrenville friends are all great. Like I do stuff at the Warrenville Museum, and that's kind of face to face is kind of a good way for me also.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, and you really hit on something huge here. I mean, if you're not getting, not everybody has a lot of money for advertising, for promotion stuff. Which, to be honest with you, is part of why the inception of the Ill Noise Business Playbook kind of came about. Right, is so that we can give small businesses like yourself an opportunity to get known out there
Yeah.
using our audience and stuff, which is a very powerful thing. But if you're not constantly asking people for referrals, if you're not constantly asking people, hey, listen, I know you loved this situation, but I would certainly love to help somebody else in the manner I'm helping you, then you're not doing it right. So it sounds like you're out there and you've got a nice base and stuff. And I know we interviewed somebody on our show that you're following as well. Oh, if I say this wrong, I'm gonna be so mad. But it's Permanent Jewelry.
Yeah, Sparkle Chic. Yeah.
How do you know that her? She's so wonderful, by the way.
Yeah, I've done a few markets with Laura, and
Okay.
then also once a year for the last 3 years, I've been hosting a permanent jewelry party at my house. So she comes, and I invite my friends over, and then we all have some drinks and get some permanent jewelry. And it's a fun reason to get together, and all my friends love her. They all look forward to her pop ups at my house. So yeah,
She's absolutely amazing. We interviewed her
Mhm.
a few weeks back. Hopefully, you saw that interview. But
Yeah,
I just saw you guys were following each other, and I thought that was really good. I love, I want to continue having people that have been on the show to actually have relationships and stuff like that. We actually, just last week, we had our first kind of event where we were trying to bring people together. So we'll
Mhm.
be doing those quarterly, and we'll be hitting you up to come on and say hello and stuff when you have a chance to do so. But
Yeah, I'd
it's
love
it's
to.
it's really cool seeing people support each other. I work with my wife, obviously, on this thing, so I'm not neglecting the gender. I'm not. I really also think personally, I think it's really wonderful when women support other women. And not to say women shouldn't support men or men shouldn't support women or blah, blah, blah. But I think that's really empowering, just to kind of have each other's back. So the fact that you actually do targeted events with her, I think that's great. So keep working with her. She's such an amazing person,
Yes,
as you
good people.
appear to be as well. Now, how do you have it where you have consistent? I know you say you do. I love the third of the month little group you have, and of course you're in the stores. But I mean, do you have any other consistent events that you try to be a part of, or how's that all work out?
I try to do I kind of pop around here and there.
Okay.
I usually do a lot of stuff in Yorkville also. S- the Yorkville Junior Women's Club throws a craft fair in May and in September. And
Okay.
so I try to pop up there a lot because they're wonderful, wonderful people, and it's a wonderful crowd down there and everything. So I do
That's
that. And then that's kind of the thing that I do, the same that I've done the same the past couple years.
okay. Are you affiliated with any Facebook groups? Because a lot of times you can kind of get access to different events through those channels as well?
I am. There's
Okay.
a couple. Yeah, there's a couple. I can't think of the name of them right now, but there's a few of those that I've been doing stuff when like I started looking for markets and craft shows and stuff to be part of.
Nice, 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 nice. How do you stay up to snuff? How do you stay up to date with everything that goes on in your industry? But what do you do to stay focused on things?
It's tough. I feel like every week there's something new and you have to keep up with it. It's, if it's not Easter, it's the release of a movie that people want shirts for,
Right.
or when Taylor Swift comes out with a new album, I have to make shirts for those.
Right.
So you got to keep up with it and not even keep up with it. You have to get ahead of it so you can
Yeah.
have it for when people want it. So it's kind of just I'm more into pop culture now than I ever have been,
Because you
just
have to be.
because I have to be.
Sure.
So it's just that's been a big change for me.
You're saying the millennials aren't maybe as keen on White Snake as you and I are? Is that correct? Probably not as much.
Not as much.
They're missing out, Ashley, for sure.
No, I agree.
Can you talk about, and I guess, I mean, maybe try to keep this a little appropriate if you may, but can you talk about one of the more unique t-shirts that you've had to make that someone's asked you to make for them?
One of the more unique ones I've had to make, it's usually something about a girlfriend being protective of her boyfriend or fiance, protective of their fiance or something like that. That's probably been that. And then recently I made a shirt with a Sloppy Joe on it. It was just a black t-shirt and it had a plate with a Sloppy Joe on it.
Okay.
So that's
Did,
probably,
did my wife pre-order that for me? Sometimes I'm a little messy, Ashley, I got to tell you. That's pretty cool. So you just
yeah.
got a black t-shirt with a big old sloppy Joe on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That may or may not have been I think my father, God rest his soul, I think that was one of his nicknames for me. You should have seen my bedroom growing up. Well, that's cool. Have you, you know, AI is so big in this world now. Have you utilized AI with your business at all? And if so, how? And if not, why not?
I have yes and no.
Okay.
I think for stuff as far as like posting on Facebook and having like like I've used it to have a schedule about my posts because
Okay.
like I have 3 or 4 events in April and I have to try to make sure that I'm posting about each one of them each day.
Sure.
So I have it make me a little calendar for that.
Okay. That's good.
Make sure I'm hitting all of them so that people know that they're happening and come and hang out. But as far as like designs and stuff like that, I don't really use it for that just because I don't love the way they come out looking.
Yeah.
And then if you are trying to make a design with it, I spend more time the amount of time that I spend correcting it, I could just make the design myself.
Sure. Right. It's not really helping out.
Yeah.
It's not saving you any time doing it that way.
Yeah, it's a little more frustrating. So
You kind of referenced something like that, but I know for myself and my wife, when it comes to what we're doing, we are very targeted in when we post, the
mhm.
times we're posting, the formats that we're posting. We do use AI to at least, as far as what you're saying as well. There are some really wonderful components to do calendar
Mhm.
setups. So things are kind of set it and forget it, and you just
Yeah.
kind of generate things and put it there. What is your sort of strategy when it comes to social media? Do you have specific times or days that you like to post, or how does that work out for you?
I just kind of try to post. I try to post, something on Instagram and something on Facebook at least once a day. I
Okay.
try to make them different so that if you follow me on both, you're not seeing the same thing
Big
twice.
time. Yes.
But other than that, it's just kind of putting out what I've made recently or something like that. Like last night I made an Easter shirt, so this morning I posted about the Easter shirt.
It's very nice. I saw it
Oh,
before we started. Like I said, I was looking all into you before we got going here. So very good work, by the way. It's
thank you.
you're very talented. When you first came up with this, you said you have so much support in the
Mhm.
family and friends and so on and so forth. And I really do believe just in life, if you have a strong support system, you're going to be a lot more successful than if
Yeah.
you don't, which is tough, to be honest with you, as a gentleman now in his 50s. Like when I was growing up, it was like you can do everything on your own, you don't need help. And then as you continue to grow up, you go, boy, that was horrible logic. That I don't know who told me that, but that was dumb. It's really nice to have people that really support what you're doing. We feel really comfortable here with the Illinois. We're building up this community of people that are trying to do good in the world, and obviously you're one of them. That's why I'm talking to you. But what did your family and friends say to you when you said, you know what, I think I'm just going to start making shirts for people and selling them? Like, what did they initially say?
They all thought it was a great idea. I've had nothing but support, honestly. And I feel
That's
very
beautiful.
lucky to have that because I know not everybody gets that kind of support.
Sure.
But I mean, as far as from my family and my friends, and they're the first ones to come to me when they need a shirt for their kid's first birthday or for
Sure.
their fifth birthday party or anything like that. So they come to me for that, and I'm their first one, and I really appreciate that. And it's been a lot of fun.
Who did do you remember who you sold your first shirt to?
I know it was a Fortnite themed shirt.
Okay.
It was, I think it was the girl who does my hair.
Okay.
That's who it was.
Nice, nice. And how did that make you feel when you sort of realized, boy, oh boy, not am I only passionate about this, not only do I have the support to do this, but boy, this can kind of maybe work here. This is something that actually can get people all riled up in a positive way.
It was great because she reached out to me. She said, "I'm looking at getting a shirt like this. Can are you available to do something like that?" And I said, "Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely." And then she came and got hers. She picked it up from like my apartment when I was living there. And
Right.
she posted it on one of the local moms groups saying, "Hey, she's available. She made me this." It was right around Christmas time. So I got a bunch of orders for the same thing in different colors from just her just asking me if I could do that and then posting about it. So
That's cool.
it's great.
Yes. I know you and Laura have a relationship and stuff like that, but just out of
Mhm.
curiosity, you've done a really wonderful job of kind of staying engaged with our stuff for a little while here, and so we've noticed you. And I'm actually asked Neha a couple weeks ago, "Who's this Turbo person? What the heck's going on with that?" Because I don't think I didn't meet you, but did you meet Neha, or how did you get to know about the Illinois?
Yeah, so I saw Laura when she was on here, and
Okay,
then Neha came to one of the stores that I'm at, which is Prestige Creative Markets in Bartlett. They have a ladies' night once, maybe every couple months. And so I was working, and so Neha came, and that when we met face to face there, and so she got
nice.
to walk around and see my little shop in there, and then see there's over 90 different vendors there. So it's a
It's
big shop.
huge.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, that's cool. Well, we really appreciate. Again, it's so simple. If people want to come on our show, we just ask people to like, love, share, comment, and we do the same for you. So it's like we just ask you, hey, if you do this for us, we'll do it for you, and then let's all grow together and stuff like that. And I always love when my little spokesperson, my wife, goes out there because she's the epitome of energy and positivity. So it's very
Yes.
well evident when she meets people that she's got a genuine heart, and both of us, we just want to see the best for people. And we want to try to help people that are doing good stuff in this world. And you're putting a lot of smiles out there. You're a very talented person. Can you talk about somebody that sort of stands out to you? I think I haven't always been a YouTube guy. I was in sales off and on for 20 plus years, and I'd always tell my teams that remember that person you helped that really just made you feel warm and fuzzy, because trust me, you're going to meet people that don't, and you're going to be driven by that positive person and that memory of that person that you were able to assist. Can you think of someone right now that just, even by me mentioning this, you can think of an example of somebody that put a big old smile on your face and that makes it really easy during some of the days that aren't so great to kind of keep pushing forward?
Yeah, my boyfriend's pretty positive, and he helps me out whenever I need help, and he will, if he thinks of something, he'll say, "I think this might be something to try," and so I'll try it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but always filled with ideas and stuff like that.
That's
And
beautiful.
then I have a friend, Melissa, and she's on top of everything. She's like, "I want this and this and this." And then I'm like, "Where did you see this?" She's like, "Oh, a TikTok shop." And I'm like, "Oh, well, people don't have to order off TikTok shop. They can order from me and I can do it here."
Yes,
So
ma'am. Sure.
it's better quality and everything like that. So she kind of keeps me on my toes with that stuff.
I love it. I love it. It's so boy, when I asked you, I was actually, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I was thinking more of a customer per se, but I
Oh,
love the way you
personal.
no, I love the way you actually answered that though, because I think you're really you're sort of reiterating the importance of support.
Mhm.
And again, what I find very valuable is not just that people are supporting what we're doing on business side, but just people that support us in general.
Yeah.
It's not only is it easier to be successful, but it also makes you feel better when you're successful, knowing you've got these people along the way.
Mhm.
I think that's really cool. Do you have any events coming up that we should be aware of?
Yeah, I have a couple things coming up in April. April 11th, I am at the Warrenville Public Library has a Fan Con 2026 day. And
Okay.
that's kind of, it's based around people who love the library and people who love books and stuff like that. And
Nice.
then I have Third Thursday, which is April 16th.
Okay.
And that is, like I said, I will be making custom cups that day. And then my friend Rose from Rose Essentials, she's having a, like, make your own cleaning spray, kind of like an
Okay.
April refresh. And
Sure.
then April 10th, I have a turbo tea bar scheduled for Red Hive Market. So I'll be
Well,
there doing t-shirts.
you're
So
busy. You're hustling.
yeah.
That's awesome. One thing that I think that really kind of comes out about you is this energy, very positive energy. You got a big smile on your face, and I'm sure that's continues to kind of show through when people get shirts from you and stuff and other things, and just spending time with you. I can feel it across the computer right now. I mean, you're just so darn positive. I love the energy. I really want to say on behalf of our whole community, of which now you're part of.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you coming on here. I really appreciate you coming here, being so positive, really kind of spreading the love about what you're doing with Hey Turbo Collective. Obviously, I would encourage anybody watching this, if you want a really cool specified shirt, I think we found the person that can provide that for you. So thank you so much for spending time with us today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. It's been great.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, you have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and I'll make sure I come with Neha next time you're somewhere so we can see you in person. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. You take care, Ashley.
You too. Thank you.